So Tiger will win a major this year. I think less and less people do think that. I don't think he'll catch Jack Nicklaus. I was one of the few people and got beat up pretty well for saying that Jack was still the best golfer. No, it's going to be Tiger. He's going to win 24, 25 majors. Well, in our microwave society where we want every email back in 20 minutes and there is impatience, we don't let things play out. You know, we're having a conversation about LeBron James or Michael Jordan, who's the best player in the recent NBA. Wait a minute. Michael won 6 titles. LeBron's got 1. Call me at 3 and then we'll talk. Does that mean that Jordan would have been able to guard LeBron James in their prime? I don't know. It's a different conversation. But just be patient. I think Tiger will win. I wouldn't bet against McIlroy as the season goes on and he gets used to his equipment. I think we have a pretty good golf season set up. And the nice part is, for most of us who are American-born here, Americans have won every tournament at the start of this year, which hasn't happened at this rate in about 15 years. So it's been a great start to the year. That question has never been asked that way, because I was assuming you were going to ask which one's my favorite, which I get all the time, but I've never really been asked that. I would say it's football. This era of football has so many substitutions in it, and when you go into a football game, you have 47 players, 46 players dressed for one team, 46 for the other. If you add the significant coaches, the 2 coordinators and the head coach, that brings the head count to 49. Then you have the general manager and the owner. That's 51 per side. And I feel like I've got to be ready for what's important in the game that relates to any one of those 102 people. And you got to be right. And that is where I spend. Football preparation is a bear. You can ask my wife, what are the nicest times of the year in our house? And she will say from the Super Bowl until the first preseason game. Because it just becomes an all-consuming thing, and you're in it constantly. And with the number of people changing, identifying the numbers of the players, although we do have someone to help us do that, the stories, things are moving so quickly. I'd say that's the hardest one. Also because, especially on a national broadcast, are you a Lions fan?
Yes.
Okay.
Long-suffering.
Well, is there any other? Let's say we're broadcasting the Lions and the Bears. So I'm the hometown announcer for you, because it's a national game. I'm the hometown announcer for the Chicago guys. And I'm the announcer for the rest of America that doesn't know those teams as well. So you don't want to hear the same crap over and over that you've heard the last 7 weeks. But the guy in Florida may not know about Matthew Stafford, about his girlfriend who was a cheerleader at Georgia and they've known each other since they're 14. Okay, I've heard that, 17. Well, maybe the guy in Florida didn't. So that's the constant challenge of football, because people know so much about it because it's become so popular. And then the other thing that's kept football very popular, and to me one of the key reasons football's ratings have maintained in an era of so many choices and things just sliding down, fantasy football. The fantasy football component's a big deal. Our campaign has been, it all comes down to Monday night this year. The game, it's the standings, it's the last game of the week ends, the NFL season or week starts anew. But also fantasy football. Everybody's game usually comes down to Monday night. We have very good teams on. They have very good players. Invariably, unless your team stinks, your game has 1 or 2 players in it on Monday night. Chance to win, chance to lose.